the people that you're selling to are real people. They have real needs. They feel the brunt of the economy. So you need to always adjust your strategy to make sure that you meet those users, you meet their needs essentially. So if you are not selling, physically brick and mortar and all of that, your social media ads do not necessarily just change the tide for you. All right. So your business model, if there's a product market fit and things like that, it would the social media just helps you to scale the effect of your business. It's not a strategy on its own. All right. I just want to make that very clear. So as we know it, just to look at the economy as we have it. I mean, over here in Meta, we call it a double whammy, but I'll call it a triple whammy. And what I mean by that is that we know that we have a high inflation rate, and that also means that purchasing power for users are obviously decreasing, right? So we have a growing inflation. At the time of this deck, inflation rate was 24%, but now I think it's about 31% thereabouts. There's rising cost of operations. Many businesses are leaving the country. Procter and Gamble, Diageo just currently announced that Tolaram has acquired 58% stake. Kimberly Clark is leaving the country, and just different things like that. Many companies are leaving, and that's because there's just so much. The cost of operations is really high. Interest rates at the time of this debt was 18%. I think now it's about 26%, and obviously rising unemployment. I'm saying these numbers because I know that business people don't usually focus on these numbers, but they're very critical to know because they in tandem impact your business. I mean, they don't impact our business because we are, of course, ring fenced by the favor of God, but it's just important to pay attention to this statistics, right? What that means as well is what we are seeing on meta platforms, or what happens on meta platforms as well, is that people are still buying, even though things are more expensive. People are not earning as much, or their money doesn't mean so much because there's just inflation and things like that. The naira is devalued. It just means that people are more thoughtful on how they spend their money. So these are some strategies that you can start to look at in trying to, get more customers, or even make some sale. Customers are looking for meaningful savings, right? So, for example, if you're running ads and you are trying to sell and you're not putting discounts, your ad might not look very appealing to your customers, because a customer would pay attention to when you have a discount on. And to be honest, Nigeria is a very, very price sensitive market. So um, we are not very loyal to brands as such. Interestingly, if you compare Nairobi or Kenya to Nigeria, Kenyans are actually quite loyal to brands. What that means is that if you give a good example, when Uber launched in Nigeria, they were the next big thing. You could ride in the Uber and all of that. But then Bolt came into markets, and what they did was they just slashed their prices, and everyone just left Uber and went to Bolt. That's like the behavior from Nigerians. That once you give them a lower price, they go for you. If you look at Nairobi, the same thing happened in Nairobi, where Bolt came into the market and they didn't leave Uber, even though Uber was more expensive. They kept using Uber, right? So you need to understand your market to understand that, hey, the country that I'm in, the country that I'm doing business in, is a very price sensitive market. So when they see things like free, I mean, I don't say, don't let me say when we see things like free, or that there's 50% discount and things like that, we most likely are attracted to that. So the likes of Jumia and Konga and the e-commerce business understand this. They know how to put price tags on their discounts on their products and things, and get people to really shop. The second thing is that people are switching to brands that give the best value. So things like quality, all right. And then people are also expecting deep relevance. That means that they want to make sure that you are showing up in places that they are obviously engaged, whether it's through WhatsApp or Messenger, or Meta or things like that. So it's important to also still be relevant in your engagements on social media as a brand. The next thing I want to talk about is seasonality. So a lot of people when they want to run ads, they essentially will just launch their ads and run ads. And sometimes they discover that sometimes the ads are performing, sometimes the ads are not performing, sometimes you get sales, sometimes you don't get sales, and you don't really know exactly what's happening, right? And you might just be in the blind. And one of the things that play huge, that obviously impacts the way you get sales and things like it's called seasonality, or what we call key moments. Every part of the year, there are things called key moments where people are either there's more marketing activity or more commercial activity happening across different demographics, right? So, for example, we know Q4. Q4 is between October to December. We know it as a month where it's very big with a lot of commercial activities. That's when you have your Christmas. That's when you have your holiday shopping and things like that. Black Friday, different activities happen in Q4. So typically, a lot of people are advertising and trying to put their business out there to get all of the volume. And people are also massively shopping as well in those seasons, right? They're shopping for Christmas and things like that. So that season, even though it's good for commercial sales, it also becomes expensive when it comes to ad costs, right? The cost that you see on ads. Why? Because there's something we call auction pressure. Most of the ad platforms run on something called auction system, which means that I'm bidding to be seen, all right, to the user. So let's say brother Timidayo, for example, is selling shoes, and I'm also equally selling shoes, right? Both of us would then bid to say who should be shown to the customer, right? And whoever is paying maybe more, or who has a better creative and things like that, will then be chosen to win that bid. Okay. But then if there are many more people, bidding for that particular slot, all of this happens automatically, by the way. But there are many people bidding, for that slot. The price becomes very expensive. It just keeps increasing. I mean, the good example to use is maybe when you book boats during surge, right? You know that, for example, prices just really go high because there are so many people asking boats to come and pick them, and there are not enough boats drivers around. So surge really happens and things become more expensive. This is typically what happens in Q4. All right. And also, you need to know that during after Q4, after December, January, let's say December 27, 28, 29 till first week and second week in January, is usually very quiet. People have spent their money, but also brands are, people have gone on holiday, brands are more quiet and things like that. But that's actually when it becomes cheaper to run ads
Hi,
because
I'm
we,
super
you know,
excited you're
pretty much
listening
there's
to
no
this
auction
call.
pressure, there's no competition, and sometimes it could be a good strategy for you to actually you know get
A
cheaper
lot of
cost
people ask me
cheaper
that
ad cost.
do you work for
So look
Meta?
between
And the question
Q1,
is
Q2,
yes and
Q3,
no.
Q4.
Um,
Q4 is a
so I
very
work.
massive commercial sale event. Q2 as well sometimes is quite substantial as well, but Q3, Q1 are very silent quarters. Think about it as well as regards different events that are happening. So think about, let's say, maybe we have AFCON, right? There's football going on, and maybe you operate a business that caters towards sports. You know that during AFCON, auction pressure would be high for your particular industry. If you are, let's say, in let me say, maybe you are into the gifting business and things like that, during Valentine's Day or during that period in February, there will be a lot of auction pressure. So for you as a business, if you want to operate for during Valentine's Day, you need to start your ads before Valentine's Day becomes really massive, but before February 14, pretty much. Let's say 2 weeks before February 14, which is pretty much ending of January. That's when you want to launch your ads and get enough lower costs in terms of ads. So people don't know, people we don't say this enough. I just thought it was very wise to share this so that you can see sort of you know how you can get cheaper ad costs, because for most marketers or those who are experienced running this thing, your cost per acquisition which is how much you pay to acquire a customer, right, for a particular sale or particular install or whatever objective you have, is very, very, very critical. Okay, it's critical to your business success and things like that. So if you look at the graph that I had here, you can see that it's saying opposite of what I'm saying. And the reason why that is because a platform like Meta keeps getting better. And it keeps getting better because of one, I mean, let's say two things, right? But what I want to focus more on is AI. I think since 2022, 2021, 2022, by thereabouts, Meta has invested a lot in AI, right? And because of that impact of AI, there's a lot of efficiency in the system. And because of that, you will generally see lower costs and higher conversions, right? Which is sort of what the business would come the platform aims to achieve. So if you put that together with understanding of key moments and seasonality, then you would definitely do very, very well with your ads. So I'll move to the next slide now. And I want to just talk about the potential on Meta because, for example, some of you might be running ads on Meta, but you might not know what the potential is. Meta at the moment is the biggest social media company globally. It's also the biggest social media company in Nigeria. Why is it? Why is it that? Because globally, there are 3.4 billion people that use Meta, and when I say Meta, I mean Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or Messenger. 3.45 billion people use these platforms every single day. That's a massive potential. That's a massive audience, right? And if you look at Nigeria, over 52 million people use Facebook every month. All right. Um, and if you look at that, 52 million, I think about 200 million people, right? I mean, give or take, right? That means 25% of the population of Nigeria is on Meta. I mean, that's a lot, right? I mean, the audience that has enough purchasing power to actually even buy from a business is probably lesser than that, right? So 52 million people pretty much gives you enough reach or enough audience size to change the tide of your business, right? So massive potential. One very key insight as well is that 51 million out of these 52 million people access Facebook on their phones. I'll tell you why this is very important. It's very important because if you are running ads and you're not optimizing for mobile, you're wasting a lot of time because most people are not checking Facebook on their laptops or their tabs or anything. They're checking it on their phones. So, for example, when you're doing a creative, you need to make sure it's mobile first. When I say mobile first, it means, for example, if it's a video, it should be vertical video, right? The one that fills your phone screen, things like that. So those ones are more immersive and obviously commands more action, all right? So that's something to bear in mind. Now, let's talk about the marketing funnel. So, I mean, anyone who's in marketing or will probably be very familiar with this. Like, this at the back of your hand, right? The marketing funnel obviously talks about awareness, consideration, conversion, loyalty. Now, most times what we do is we divide the brands, we divide businesses based on two major objectives: brand or performance. And I'll tell you what that means. A lot of businesses, which most likely you are not running, is a lot of the brand businesses are like Airtel. They do more awareness, right? Because literally you have an Airtel SIM, or let's say Coca-Cola, for example. You I mean, you don't need to see an ad you don't see an ad and then click and then order a Coke. No, it doesn't really work that way. The Cokes are in the shelves in different stores or with that roadside seller. However, they need to make sure that they are top of mind, right? They need to make sure that anytime you feel like you feel thirsty, you're thinking of Coke, all right? So they do more of awareness, right? So we call that brand. However, I think that most people here, you can let me know if I'm wrong, most people here will be focused on performance. And performance essentially means that you are looking to sell. Like you have a business that depends literally on people calling you or sending you a WhatsApp message or clicking to your website to make a purchase. Many people don't have businesses. I mean, small business, I assume, don't have businesses where you just advertise so that someone can go and pick up your product in a store somewhere, right? You pretty much optimize for them to message you or connect or order via Instagram or WhatsApp or what have you. And this performance businesses that you can see, this some of these businesses that you see here, my colleague here has helped them, handheld them. I mean, they rely on us to get their stuff done, like OPay, Money Point, Jumia, Flutterwave, Child Deck, and the likes of that, right? So looks like I'm echoing. So pretty much that's your business is most likely focused on performance. I think we might need to sorry. Is it possible to mute the person that is oh, okay, Mama D, please mention my friends is Mama D. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so we're gonna go into more performance. I hope I can run through these slides and we can get to the real stuff. Okay. So there's something in Meta called Performance 5. And essentially these 5 things is what Meta says that if you do well, you will achieve your business objectives on Meta. Except you have a terrible product, right? Except your product is not it doesn't have a product market fit, right? If you do these things, you will achieve results. These 5 things, and they're performance pillars. They're 5 levers that you can leverage to make sure that you get results performance wide. Like I mentioned, we're going to go into performance because I think most businesses here fall into the performance bracket. Okay. One is account simplification, automation, creative diversification, data quality, and results validation. I would touch on a few of those, and I think we can go into like maybe show like a practical session. So the good thing is that typically previously, if you're going to do this performance 5, it's pretty much it's quite a task, to be honest. Data quality, for example, you need to obviously integrate your pixel. For those who know pixel is or copy or SDK if you're running an app install campaign or things like that, but essentially what I'm going to show you now is how Meta has kind of thought through it, right? Is to plug in AI into the system such a way that you can start to see results without doing so much. All right. So imagine all your account simplification, your automation, your creative diversification. AI is just sort of helping you to do all of that so that you don't have to do too much at all. Less hand holding, less very low touch, and then you continue to see the results. So how does the Meta AI work? So typically, for those who have done core marketing or those who have really gone very far with their business managers, you would know that if you're looking for your audience, and I think someone asked me this question on Sunday as well, is you're trying to figure out your targeting. What most likely you want to do, right, which is not the right thing. So I want you to unlearn this. What most likely you do is you will say that, okay, I'm trying to get customers maybe that live in Banana Island, okay, because I think that they have more disposable income, or let's not even go that far. Let's say you want to do Lekki phase 1 or even Lekki entirely, and you think that there are not enough a good number of middle class people who live there. They'll be able to afford my products. I want to look at people between the ages, let's say 18 to 45, or 18 to 54, like you have here. I want people who have an interest base of they like shopping, they like fashion, and things like that. That's how you typically would do it to get the results. But opposite is actually what you need to do with this new AI that Meta has created. The AI, the way AI works is it needs a lot of data points to deliver efficiently, right? Which means that you need to give it a lot of data. The reason why the likes of your ChatGPT and your Claude and Gemini and all of that and Meta AI is efficient is because they've plugged in a massive amount of data across many years, and it's now able to be intelligent enough to tell you what you should do or advise you on this and that. All right. So AI improves when you give it more opportunities to work. So when you turn on AI on your business manager, you have to make sure your audience is broad. All right. So you're no longer doing things like targeting a particular region or targeting too too narrow, because you feel like the more narrow you go, the more you're able to get the exact user that would buy from you. However, with the AI, you just simply leave it broad, and it's so intelligent that it can pick the people that will be most interested in your product, and it will give you a cheaper cost. All right. Let me quickly break it down for those of you that don't know why you get cheaper cost when you have more efficiency. Pretty much, Meta is rewarding you for cheaper costs because there's something called high match rates. That means the fact that your customer meets you is a plus for Meta. Because imagine that maybe you go on Instagram, for example, and you see some ads and you don't like those ads, or you don't see the reason why you're seeing those ads. Like, those ads are so unnecessary to you, they don't make any sense to you, right? That doesn't help the platform, because Meta feels that if you see too many ads that you don't like, you might even stop using the product entirely. So Meta will reward those who have a product that kind of talks to the audience in the right way, and that's because you've done your targeting properly. But because with AI now, you don't even need to go deeper and start thinking about your, persona for your customers and things like that. The system just does it for you. Okay. And my colleague will show you how to turn that on in your business manager. If you're currently boosting posts, you already have an element of this. All right. If you keep it broad, because you can also you can go deep targeting within boosting posts and things like that. If you keep it broad, you probably will get a little bit of AI, because it's very low touch. The boosting post is very low touch, but it also doesn't help you go deep enough to actually leverage what we call the Advantage Plus suite. That's what the AI system is called. It's called Advantage Plus suite of solutions. All right. So I'll go to the next slide and just tell you um the auction process starts. I hope I'm not going too technical, because I'm afraid that I'll lose some people. But again, I think it's very important that everyone understands this. When you launch your ads on Meta, the first thing that happens is called a learning phase. That learning phase pretty much is the system trying to understand what you want, right? And how it's going to go about delivering what you want. So let's say you want to get new people to visit some people like maybe more followers. You want people to follow your page, or you want them to like your posts. Or let's say you have something more business oriented, right? You want more customers to message you, right? The first thing it does is it does learning, right? And that learning phase can be short, it can be long, depending on a couple of factors. One is that learning phase, and Abby, just let me know if I'm wrong, but the learning phase needs to have 50 conversions, um or 50 optimized events before it can close that learning phase. The challenge with learning phase is that it can be really, you can see the graph that I have here, it can really be expensive in the beginning. All right. um but as soon as it completes the learning phase, the system now says, now I understand who needs what you want, and how I can get you to match with those people, and I figured it out. It's perfect from here on. And then your campaign starts to deliver results and all of that. Some people start, um maybe they start their ads, and 2 days after, they stop the ad and say, I'm not seeing any customer. No, that's not how it works. The learning phase usually, it can typically, you should run your campaigns for between 2 to 4 weeks to actually see good results. So people start ads and they run ads for 2 days, 3 days, and then they delete it or they stop it. You're not going to see results that way. You need to have a good amount of time. I would say minimum 2 weeks to run your ads for you to see any tangible results. And I also say that the budget that you put into your campaign is also important, because the quicker it can do the learning, right? That means it needs to reach a good number of audience. and they must be interested in the products for you to now say, okay, I understand the process now, and move on from there. So 2 weeks minimum, and a good budget to quickly exit the learning phase. By the time it exits the learning phase, then it goes into optimized delivery. Now, there's something that can make your learning phase slower, and I'm going to go that in the next slide. And there's something you can do to make it faster. So in the next slide, it talks about your account structure. Some of this might be alien to some people that don't use business managers, but my colleague will walk you through a business manager setup really quickly, and maybe you can learn one or two things. So typically, when you want to run your ad, the first thing is you have your campaign level. Well, when you set your objective, right, you have your campaign level, you have your ad set level, you have your ad level, right? A lot of people set up multiple campaigns. So, for example, you have a campaign you have a campaign that targets. I have very few minutes more. So you have a campaign that targets, let's say, people, women between ages 18 to 25. You have another campaign that targets men age 20 to 40 and things like that. And you just have so many campaigns, so many ad sets and things like that. You need to simplify that. And the ideal way to do it is to have one single campaign, all right, that targets and has multiple that targets multiple age groups and segments. And then you have obviously you have dynamic optimization for your ad sets and things like that. And obviously it's a faster, it goes through the learning phase faster. You can start seeing results much quicker, so it's less expensive for you. I'm not going to go through all of this because I know I have limited time, and I want Abby to show you a couple of things. So these are some of the do's and don'ts that you must abide by to be able to see a lower purchase. The couple of case studies here. I'm not going to go into that. Um, and I just maybe touch on this a little bit. So these are the Advantage Plus. So we have Advantage Plus Suite, but we also have Advantage Plus single step solutions, which means that you can call AI to help you with your audience. So you don't know exactly who you should target. You probably want to target between ages 18 to 35. You're not sure those are the ones that will be interested in your product. You want to target someone who maybe is interested in baseball and running, right? The Advantage Plus would look at even more people that will buy from you that you're not even aware of. So the best thing is to leverage AI to help you solve that problem. Same thing here with Advantage Plus catalog. This helps you to optimize your so the creative they are seeing, the catalog. It shows what is most relevant to your customers, so you don't have to do that by yourself. And then also the one for creative as well, sharpens the image, put some audio on it, can even make your image a video, because videos are actually much more um, interactive. And then I'll just go to um, let's say creative diversification. This one is very key because most of the ads that you have that will convert, what people will see is actually the creative. And people don't pay enough attention to this, right? Is what the image is, what the video is actually what makes an impression on the customer, right? So, for example, how you structure the image, how you structure the copy, which is the text, also matters. You can see the example here. You have a product here sitting here. This person says, "Oh, this moisturizer is exactly what I need for my skin," and this just makes sense for them. Someone this is probably a more Nigerian person who sees a 20% off on it, and then it's like, "Oh wow, I need to take advantage of this deal." All right, and then some people obviously want to leverage creators. Meta always advises you leverage creators because it brings some authenticity to your brand. So this person say, "Oh, this product was recommended by a creator I trust, so I'm going to, look at it." And this one also is obviously, it says, "Oh, I'm looking for dramatic results. This will help me clear my skin," all that stuff. So these are ways to show different motivations with the same product and diversify your images and messaging as well. This is also another example. I wouldn't go, so I think I'll just go to Abby now so we can take some questions. Abby, I don't know if you want to go quickly, just show how you set up an ad, and then we can take questions.
Sure, no worries. Hi everyone, my name is Abby and I will be taking you through the practical session of everything you have said, particularly how to navigate your ads manager. For anyone that doesn't know how to get to the ads manager, I'm just going to put a link down here. You can copy it on your phone, on your notepad, anywhere. But I'm also going to share my screen quickly for you to see what I'm doing. At any point, if you can't hear me, you can just let me know. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So I already gone through the ads manager. This is how your ads manager would definitely look like once you get to the ads manager. And every ads manager has its unique ID attached to it. So you know that this belongs to me, right? And for every business owner, you have a particular goal that you're looking to advertise for, right? Or you're looking to achieve rather. I know that we said a lot of us know what the business manager looks like, but yes, this ads manager is in your business manager, and this is how it will come. It will look like on your end. You have the campaign, ads reporting, just for you to check how your ads are doing, compared to what you've done before, as to what you're doing now, where your audience are sitting, if you've created your audience, what your billing looks like, that if you have spent money, what is remaining, if you need to top up, this is how it's just going to look. But our main focus is the campaign generally. And if you're on your ads manager, or if you don't know how the ads manager look like, this is what it is. And to create your campaign, you're going to see this green button here, and you just click on it. So for what JD spoke about, everything here he mentioned about. So if you remember, he said there's awareness, there's consideration, and there's conversion, with as well as loyalty, right? This is everything that the objective is about as well. So for Meta, we have, I think, up to 6 major objectives that you can choose from. The first one is awareness. Second is traffic. I will explain briefly on them. Engagement, leads, app promotion, and sales. I know a lot of us say that the Instagram app does absolute wonders. I've heard it a lot of times. And I'm saying that, well, yes, I won't disagree, because it's a meta app, right? And it's meant to do wonders. However, if you know the magic that the ads manager or the business manager as a whole gives you, and the opportunity you have to actually go deeper into different campaigns, just to understand, just to do like an A/B test, just to do experiments, you definitely tilt towards this, right? It holds a whole lot more. The targeting is a whole lot better. The measurement is a whole lot better than just the app itself. So while the app gives you results, and I'm all for that, another thing you need to know is that the ads manager will give you a better result. So these are all the objectives that we have on the Meta on Facebook. Basically, it's now Meta. And the awareness is, top of the funnel. You want to make your product available. You want them to know who you are, what you're saying. And it's definitely good for reach. You want to reach as much people as possible. You want to make sure that they're not just reaching them, but also they are able to recall your business, which is, putting your brand at the top of their mind, brand awareness, right? For video views as well, you want to create awareness through videos, right? People want to watch it. And now we're in the era of content creating, which is very interesting. I'm sure that most of us go on Meta or Instagram just to watch reels, Facebook just to watch skits, and the rest. So videos, you want to promote your content through video views, and just build up the engagement. And also you can use the awareness to bring people to your store, or let them know that you have a physical store. Make your store a big thing. I mean, online is good, but I mean, offline as well is something that a lot of people need to consider. That's if you have a store. If not, it's still very good. You can use the awareness for different things. For traffic, I always say this, we're in Nigeria, right? We know that there's a lot of traffic, and sometimes you wonder what's causing this traffic. And when you get to a particular spot, you'll be like, oh, okay, nothing is causing it. Or you might say, oh, there's something just happened here, right? That's what traffic is. You're driving them to perform a particular action on maybe your website or your app, regardless, right? You're sending them somewhere. And this is good because you want as much people as possible, right? And that's what the link click is. What it does is, that's this particular one, the link click, the first one here. It just helps you get as much people as possible to your website or your landing page. But I always prefer the landing page view. Why? Because again, if you're going somewhere, or maybe you're in traffic, some people will pass a particular junction and you stop at a particular junction just to see what's going on there, or maybe that's your venue of where you're going, and some people just pass. The link click, what it does is it brings a lot of people to your website. They see it, but maybe they don't take a particular action, which you can't really track as well as much. But the landing page view, what it does is it sends people to a particular spot, right? A particular page. You're telling them, I want you to visit this page. And if they don't land on that page, it doesn't record any traffic, which is good. So, which is a little bit more quality than the link clicks, right? So that's why I like the landing page view. You can also use traffic for sending people to WhatsApp, chat through WhatsApp, Instagram DMs, Instagram page, for following. I think that on Instagram, the view profile, I think that's the objective. Get more profile view is the traffic campaign, and that's what it is here. On your messenger as well, you can send people to your messenger to have a chat with you, just to ask what products you have or what services you have for sale. So yeah. Then the engagement, which a lot of people use, for Facebook, basically a lot of people use this just to have interaction on your post, on your video views, just to it's a very good one to use if you want to build a community, build that audience that you can always leverage, and build an audience of it so that you can retarget them in the future, right? So this can be used for messaging, Instagram, video views, post engagement, conversion, because with engagement, you can definitely have a conversation that leads to sale or whatever conversion means to you. Then leads, very important, because as a business, you don't just rely on socials alone. You want to make sure that you have this lead so that you also can build your offline customer base, or even bring it back to the platform to use it for retargeting. So how this is done is, first there's an instant form on. Can you hear me? Am I still
Yes.
being here?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right.
yes.
Okay. So there's an instant form on the app, in app, that you can definitely use for that. Yes. So great. And then you can also, sorry, I left there. So Messenger as well, you can get leads from the Messenger and Instagram. Conversion as well, this is on your website. There's something a lot of businesses do, especially financial institution. They send people to their website to fill out some certain things. Right. So after, yeah, so that's it. Then app promotion is just for people to install, and get app activity. But where I'm mostly focused on is for the Advantage Plus, which is the AI, right? And for AI, you can only use that for now on the app promotion and sales. And I know that a lot of us in Nigeria are very sales focused, right? So I'm going to use this sales as an example for you to see. So once you get here, you've clicked on the create button, you click on sales. The next step is for you to do, just click on continue. Now, this is what the AI does. It says to you, do you want to use the Advantage Plus shopping campaign, or do you want to set it up manually? We don't want to do that. It's a lot of stress. We don't even know what our target audience is. You tell us what it is so that we can go about our way. Then you click continue. Simple as that. No stress. Yes. And for this, I always come here. This is how it's going to look. No, nothing more, just like this. I always like to rename this. So for this, I'll just say test. That's it. And for special ad category, it simply means that are you doing something extra? For instance, are you a credit card business? Are you a finance business? Are you into loan? Are you into employment? Do you do housing? Or are you a politician? So if you are into any of these things, if you advertise for any of these things, then you can click it. But if not, you're good to go. Right. I'm just trying to speed it up because of time. So pardon me if you don't understand anything, please let me know, and I will clarify. Now, JD mentioned catalog ads, which is very important, especially for e-commerce or if you're selling a lot of products, right? What catalog does is it knows what each and everyone wants to see based on your history on the platform. So for me, I'm very fashion forward. I love makeup. I'm sure that if you sell products like that and you have a catalog, it's going to target me and show me those products. But you don't need to change the pictures, right? It just shows me different ones that I might be interested in at that time. So the catalog is very beautiful. If you don't have it, it's very easy. You can click on create catalog and it's going to take you to a page where you can do all of that. Again, I can supply with resources on how you can, steps to create this, but it's very easy. And especially if you have a third party, if you're working with Shopify or other ones, it's easy to just go about it. So yeah. Now for conversion campaign, right, there are two ways. You can either send them to your website or a website and app. Majority of us don't have apps. Apps would be our likes of maybe Chowder, Glovo, and the rest. But for this particular business just has a website, so that's why it's ticked website. Then my performance goal with is always maximizing for number of conversion, because I want to make sure that I'm reaching as much people as possible and making sure I get at least up to 50 conversion. So I leave the learning phase within the 7 days window. Very important. So that the AI, although it knows what I want, can learn faster and give me better result and replicate that quickly, right? That's what I do here. And then the next step is to choose the pixel, right? So the pixel is meant to show here. There's a problem. Let me just go to the one that I have before. So the pixel is supposed to show, okay, no, it's gone. So sorry. The pixel is supposed to come out here. It will have pixel here, and then the purchase, which is very important, is that you're telling Meta that I want this ad to reach people that are going to buy my products, not people that are going to add to carts, not people that are going to view content and leave, people that are going to purchase. And that's what they do. They'll show your ads to people that would purchase your ad. Now, for targeting, we don't need to do much. Unlike the normal manual campaign where you need to choose the location, the age, the maybe the detailed targeting, all of those things. For Advantage Plus, it's easy. Your location is good. You if you want to exclude a location, you would have set that up before. But I always say don't exclude the location if you haven't tested the whole of a particular area. But you can also streamline to choose different areas. So if you've noticed from time, maybe Lagos is where your market is coming from or your audiences are coming from, yeah, sure. Then you can also do Kogi, all of those places, specific places you can choose, right? But just know that your audience becomes narrow. If you can look at this area, you see that the reach has reduced. Unlike when you put Nigeria, and remember that that's what is important. The more people we have in our bracket, the more opportunity that we have to sell, right? Please, can we still hear me? Because the internet is dragging here.
Yes, we can. And Abby, just because of time, if it's possible to go into questions now, will be great. So that we
I
can,
can't hear
because I
you.
know.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me,
Oh,
Abby? So maybe we can go into questions. So because I know a lot of people have questions, and so we can answer enough questions for the session's over.
yeah. Okay. No worries. So sorry. Sure. Do we
Perfect.
want
Thank
to
you.
take questions?
It's a
Okay.
good question.
I'll hand over to Brother Tim Dyer, so that
Okay.
we can go through questions.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And Ma, we truly, this has been truly enlightening. Quite a lot has been said. I think we'll have a lot to chew on. At least I know that. At least I learned that now I need is to try to learn to offer discounts, seeing um, as you said, Nigerians look for discounts. Okay, please, quickly, any questions from anyone? I know someone had posted. Sorry, if you have a question, please unmute and ask. Anyone?
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Minister JD. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Good evening, Abby. Thank you so much for that. Quite insightful. So, I have two questions. First is general. I don't know, I think I missed that. Will um, the presentation, I mean, the deck now be available for the whole house, the documents?
Yeah, I'll share with I'll share something there after this call so everyone can have
Okay,
it.
great. All
Yeah.
right, great. Thank you. Second question is, so I kind of have this. I'm a marketer by profession, so I have this nagging question from clients that it's kind of like a question I don't like answering, or I would say I've not figured out how to answer, and that is budgeting, right? What do you subscribe would be the best? Because when a client asks how much should I spend, there are many factors to it, obviously, before you determine how much budget. But what is there a one size fits all question that you can, recommend to me, and of course the larger house, to people, business owners who also will be looking to think about how much to spend? Is there an answer to that question that can just, you know settle the waters? I don't know if the question came out right.
Yeah, perfect. I totally understand it. Very, very good question. All this happens all the time. I'll give my answer, and Abby, if you have another perspective as well, please do share. Typically, first thing I ask clients, or first thing we ask clients is what are you trying to achieve? Like, what does success look like? So if this client is a performance client, like we just discussed, and maybe they want to drive app install or get X amount of X amount of customers. Maybe if you say, for example, I want um 15, maybe 500 or 5,000 or 50,000 new signups. Maybe that's the objective, right? Then it's easy, right? We just look at what's the benchmark cost per acquisition for signups for this particular industry, right? Let's say it's um let's say it's 50 naira per sign up. Then I multiply 50 naira times 50,000, and that's the value, right? But again, I'll just add a little more budget for awareness because it's a funnel. You need to create awareness before you then drive conversions, right? To make sure that a funnel flows. So once I do that, I pretty much have a rough estimate of what the budgets uh, should be, right? So it's 50,000 and 50 naira. That's, I think, 250. My math's correct. That's 250,000. No, 2.5 million, right? I'm not sure my math is mathing at the moment, but it should be like 2.5 million naira for that budget. So that's typically how we do. There's something called a media planner as well that we use. But Abby, just let me know if you have another perspective around this.
Yes, that's the way we do. We need to know your objective first before we can say yes, this is the budget.
Yeah, so we do advise budgets, clients budgets every time. Once we know what the goal looks like, then we know exactly what it will cost to get 1% to sign up, and then we can then just multiply and get the budget.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's clear.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Our time is fast spent, so we'll just take please indulge us. We just take a couple more questions. I think there's a ton. Your hand is raised. Pardon me if I'm not sure if I pronounced the name right. Do you have a question, Sam? Okay, moving on. Rachel. Rachel. Okay. I'm also seeing Hamid. I think your hand
Hello,
is
good
raised.
evening.
Okay. Okay. Please go on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Please go on.
All right. Thank you so much for your presentation tonight. Quite enlightening. However, have I don't know if I would call it a question now or a complaint, because for me, I would say the Advantage Plus AI has impacted my own marketing more negatively than positively. That's because before we could just narrow the ad to specific location. We could just say engage the Meta app to target Lagos and maybe Abuja, where we know we have more economically viable audience. But now you'll be getting um, orders from Meduguri, from you know outside this green area where you would normally see
Please, if very brief, very brief and direct to the question. No, Rex, your hand is raised. Can you unmute?
All right, thank you very much for the presentation, Mr. Jesudetan and Abby. My question is, uh, what exactly is the function of the pixel, and how, if you don't have a website, do you have one as an account holder?
Okay, I'll answer that quickly. So the pixel essentially is I won't go into the technical detail, but essentially it allows Meta to know exactly what's happening on your website, right? So it's a cookie integration that allows Meta to know what's happening on your website. So are people adding to cart? Are people checking out and purchasing? So it helps you to record and tells Meta that, oh, this person has bought, and then it then makes the system better and efficient, right? But it's something we also have outside of the pixel, because the world is going cookieless now. It's called conversions API, which is much more efficient. That's also something you can do. For your question on if you need a web, if you don't have a website, that's fine. You can always use WhatsApp. You can always use, like Abby showed, when your sales conversion, you can always choose WhatsApp, or Messenger, or your Instagram DM, or even phone calls as the call to action.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Rex.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
all right. We have David. Do you have a question, sir? Okay. What? I think Rachel, your hand is raised. Is that all? Will that be all?
I think this is Matthias.
Okay, Matthias, please go ahead.
Yes, good evening,
Good evening. Hello.
guys.
Um,
Thank
okay,
you
sorry,
for
we
the
lost you for a minute.
presentation.
Can you take that again?
Somebody just invited me, and then I started. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, now we can.
Yeah. So, my question is just that I know I saw you when you were navigating through the portal there. You were selecting target locations and all of that. Is that portal, that page you have? Is that Meta page? Is it that you subscribe to it and then you have access to that page? Or how? I don't get it.
So Abby shared the link where you can anybody who has a Facebook account can create that page. You don't have to subscribe for it. So Abby, if you want to share that link again on the group on the chat so that you can have access. Once you click on that link, if you don't have one, it will tell you to create an account, and you can create an account very easily. But you must have a Facebook account.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
thank you, sir. All right. Jeffrey, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. I
Good
I was
evening.
just I was just going to ask, you give an analogy of how to come up with a budget, but then you didn't make mention of what duration or how long you should spend that budget. So if you determine that it should be 2.5 million, do I spend that 2.5 million within the minimum 7 days, or should I spend it over a month or 2 days?
That's a good question. So for me, the minimum you should do is 2 weeks. 7 days exits the learning phase, and then you have 1 week to deliver. The thing is that Meta has, like I mentioned, 52 million people in Nigeria. If you look at your audience size, how long do you need to serve out those ads? You can do it fairly quickly, right? I have clients that run, they do like 10 million naira every day. That's how much they spend. Some spend 100 million every day. So it really doesn't, like, you can spend that 2.5 million, but I think it's advisable, once the exit learning phase, you can spend it in next 7 days. So that means 2 weeks, minimum 2 weeks. But if you want, you can also spread it depending on, you know, how your systems are set up. Do you have enough bandwidth to take all the calls that might come in, all the orders that might, if you get 500 orders at the same time, can you deliver it? All those things, you have to consider that as well. But the system is so good that it can deliver your leads in a short time, compared to like platforms like X and some other smaller audiences.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We're trying to take as many questions as possible. Please, I think there's a Vivian. Do you have a question, ma? I think your hand is raised. Okay, please, David.
Okay, good evening. So I just want to ask about the conversion part. I saw that Abimbala was responding to me before, but I didn't get that clear when she said 50 conversion in sales. So now for me, I most times I run adverts for lead generations. And when you run advert for lead generation and there's nothing, it's still on learning phase for over 1 week and increasing the budget every time. So I begin to look, is it that and I don't think I saw anything wrong in the content and all those things. So I just wanted to understand what the 50 conversion in sales mean. Man, if suppose I'm now running an advert for lead generation, what would that mean? What does that mean?
Abi, do you want to respond?
Yes. Hi, David. Okay, so we were particularly speaking on conversion, which is um for sales. But for leads, you still need 50 to 75 um leads in 7 days, in the 7 days window, so that you can exit the learning phase for you to get the result that you're looking for. It's similar to sales. So one of the ways that you need to check is when you're running your campaign, when you want to start running your campaign, you need to check at the right hand side. You should see an estimation. Your budget might tell you the amount of reach you will reach, and the amount of leads you possibly will get, right? That's something that can help you with the campaign you're running at this point. So it might be that the budget is not enough, or you can reevaluate your content. Now, another thing that would have worked for us is if we're able to, do a deep dive on what we're seeing on your dashboard. However, we can't do that at this point. So what I would suggest is, if you're going to rerun that campaign, or you're trying to run it from the start, you need to look at those meter, the reach, the amount of people you're going to get, and also what the budget is saying for you to get the conversion, the leads you're looking for. So yeah, but it's between 50 to 75 for 1 week, 7 days.
Okay, thank you very much, ma. Please, we would like to end the questions by 9:15. Any other questions? We just want to accommodate as many people as possible. Okay, if not, okay. Thank you very much, sir. Minister Femi Solomon Wood, are you there, sir? Over to you. Okay. Yes, please go ahead. you very much, sir. Again, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Mr. Jesudetan. Thank you, Abby.
Sorry,
You-
I had my
you-
hand up,
Oh,
but I guess you didn't see that. So
I
sorry. Good evening, everyone.
really
Good evening.
apologize. Our
No,
time is fast
it's
spent.
fine.
Okay, please,
I
please,
understand.
okay, please, just if you
No,
can,
no,
please
it's
just.
not a
Are you on the group?
question. No, it's
Okay,
not a question. I just
all
wanted to
right.
say thank you to everyone for joining and special thanks. Thank you so much, Minister JD. God bless you. Thank you so,
Oh,
so
very good.
much. God bless you. I'm not a business person, but I have learned a lot today. So I might
Thank
consider a
you.
career in digital marketing. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. And thank you
Amen. Thank
so
you, man.
much, Abby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was really insightful. Thank you. God bless you. And I would like to sincerely apologize to everyone. A lot more people wanted to join, but apparently there's a limit. So we'll look for another platform that can take more people. But thank you so much, Minister JD. God bless you. Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, man.
Yeah. I think someone has their hands up. I don't know if they've asked their questions and that's all, but I understand that there's the constraint of time. So Minister Timida, over to you.
Apologies, man. I didn't know you were the one speaking at the time. Yeah, anyone, I don't know.
Yes, my voice changes on Google Meet.
So I see. So I see. Okay, again. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, is there any question for the road? Or I think we're good. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Please endeavor to join the next meeting. We would like Brother Femi said, we will share the details. Do have a lovely night's rest.